Hi, it's Team Leslie.
Hey.
I'm Leslie Rogowski, Creative Director for the BeadSmith, here with Leslie A. Pope. And together we're Team Leslie. Woohoo! So we promised to show you the Pantone Color of the Year in a stepped out project called a gem duo of a bracelet, which I designed. And I have to tell you, in these Pantone colors, it's really cool. It's just icy, and I've done this in a lot of colors. Here's one just to show you in this beautiful green. But we're focused on the blue today. I just wanted to show you. This is really easy to make, and like us, you'll probably want to make it in a lot of different colors. So here's the materials that we start with. We have, we're going to have, there we go. We have solid color super duos in this beautiful polychrome denim blue. Now I want to say something about colors here. The Pantone color blue is called classic blue. And although a lot of beads come in different shapes that have the same color name, in this case, I picked colors that visually looked really well together, look good together, but they don't all have the same names. So those of you that bead a lot know that sometimes it's a mix and match kind of play that you have to do. So my solid color super duos are a polychrome denim blue. My duets are actually a polychrome blueberry with the white. You can see the two-tone. Then I have gem duos, and this color is called polychrome blueberry, so it goes with the duets. I also have 2.2 by 1 millimeter Miyuki spacers. These are really cool. They're
just little flat
circles
of love.
Circles of love.
Circles of glass love.
They work in place of if you need to bridge between things, you want to add a little glint here, you can do that. The bracelet in the tutorial has a lobster claw and beaded end, but since I made this, new symbol metal fashion elements have come into play, so I am going to show you how to use the Sikia, which is an ending component designed for use with gem duos, which of course are in this, but it fits really nicely in between the perimeter of this component. So you also need fire line in just 0.6. I'm using black. Size 10 beading needle. You can use 12 or 11 also, but you don't need to use a real skinny one because the spacers, which are your smallest beads, have pretty nice generous holes. So let's get started. I want you to know, also as promised, that there's a full color tutorial available for this with nice large illustrations that you can follow to make your own, and it's already in the BeadSmith I Love Beads library. If you go to beadsmith.com to projects, look for I Love Beads and look up gem duos, and you'll find the tutorial ready for you to download and print out. Woohoo!
Can I say this was one of the first patterns that I tested when I got here.
Yay!
And I was like, "Ooh, this is a really fun bracelet."
You can see I did it in other colors, and I brought in backlit gem duos, and so it's just so much fun. But the blues really got me, and 'tis the season for blue, I guess, right now. Okay, so to start out, we're going to pick up a super duo and a gem duo 4 times. As in with all 2-hole beads, you want to look and make sure that both holes are clear, and you want to make sure you pick up the gem duos in the same direction. There's a face up side, and the bottom is flat, so you want them all to be, there you go, facing up. You can see the flat side and the curved side. So that's one set of super duo gem duo. super duo, gem duo. That's 2. That's 3 and 4. And check your beads too. Sometimes you get some mutants and you want to just discard them. You don't want something that, like I'm looking at a super duo here where the finish is a little marred on one side. So I'm just going to discard that. There. All right. You have your beads. I'm going to tie them in a circle. I'm going to move these out of the way so you have a smooth... I think it's maybe a little complicated if I'm working over these beads. You can't see the background. So let's do that.
The camera goes in and out a little bit.
All right.
There we go.
So you have your super duos and your gem duos, 4 sets of them, and you're just going to tie. I had like a double square knot so it stays nice and snug. And you can put it down on your mat and make sure that they're nice and flat.
Looks almost like a little star.
A little star, right? So the inner holes are stitched and the outer holes are open. Now we're going to sew through a super duo away from the knot and step up. I'm going to sew through the hole that's already stitched. And I'm reversing direction to sew through the other way. Do you see how I'm sewing through the outer hole? Now I'm going to pick up duets and spacers. You want to pick up the duets with the white sides facing in. Like that.
So spacer first.
Spacers go on either side of the super duos. So as you string, always remember to string a super duo, a spacer next to the super duo. So I pick up a spacer, 2 super duos, and you want to look at these 2 and make sure that the edge of the 2 colors is nice and clean. And then I'm going to sew through the gem duo. And see how they splay out like that? Now I'm going to pick up 2 super duos with the white sides together and a spacer to go next to the super duo. And I'm going to continue this all the way around, making sure that my super duos will have spacers on both sides.
Something I kept forgetting to do.
Yes, that's the easy thing to forget, but you'll see it right away. So, spacer, pair of super duos, sew through the gem duo. Super duos, then a spacer next to the super duo. See how that's coming together? At some point you can sew your tail in. I may not take time right now to do that. Now we're coming out of a super duo, so it's spacer first, then the 2 duets. Whoop, that's a solid one. With the white sides together. Two duets and a spacer. Through the super duo, so your spacer's next to the super duo, and now you're going to pick up another spacer, 2 super duos.
That's just so fast.
It's very fast.
So
and I'm
fast.
explaining it to you and it's going fast. Duet, duet with the white sides together and a spacer. Now I'm going to sew through the super duo that I first exited and through the super duos, and I'm going to be stepping up here. So I sewed through the piece to where my thread is going to lay against the darker color of my duets, so it shows less. It's more inconspicuous. So I'm coming out this way, and now I'm going to reverse direction and sew back through like that. I'm going to pick up another pair of duets now for this next round, again with the white sides facing each other. And I'm going to sew through the other duet in that pair. So they sit like this, one inside the other. Now, when you get to the part where you're passing over one of the other solid super duos, you're just going to sew through the next duet to bring these together, these two here. Now you're going to pick up another pair of duets with the white sides together. And now I'm at a point where there's a gem duo. I'm going to pick up another gem duo. Remember to get it so that it's face up. Come on. And sew through the outer hole, the open hole, of the next duet. And we're going to continue this all the way around. We're almost done this component already. We're going to pick up a pair of the duets. Now we're above a super duo, so we're just going to sew through the next duet and bring those two together. Pick up another pair of duets with the white sides together, and then a gem duo through the outer hole. And we're going to continue this all the way around, end our thread, weave the tail in, and our component's going to be finished. Now I want to do this all because somebody said you keep skipping over how to show us how to end the thread. Okay, I'll show you on this one because I'm going to get finished this fast. So we're over a gem duo. Pick up a gem duo. Now we have our pair of duets.
Love the duets.
I know. They add like this really graphic, part of it. It's just like built in to the design of the bead. Okay, we're almost around the outside. You see how this is helping to form that really cool square shape? That was so cool when that happened, and I figured out that. Changed the shape. Oh, here's a duet. I should have enough poured out to finish this. Maybe not. Can you pour a couple more out for me, Les? They're right there on that tube.
They just went over on the side.
Oh, they blended.
They blended.
Okay.
They blended.
All right. So I'm over another super duo. I'm just going to go through the next duet. Pick up a pair of duets. And now we're going to be back at the beginning. So we're back at the beginning. We add a gem duo in that space. And you want to make sure now that you go through not the outer one that you just added, but the first one that you exited, that outer hole. And the illustrations are really clear, so you'll be able to see that goes through. Now if your needle starts to get snug, help yourself out. Help your hands out. Wiggle it through. Use a tool. A little chain nose pliers or a flat nose pliers, and carefully pull your needle through. Now you're going to weave the thread into a place where it's going to be a little more inconspicuous. So I've pulled it through just one of the duets to the dark side of the duet, and I'm going to make a half hitch around the thread that's sewing through here, just by coming up the other side of the thread and going through the loop like this and making a little half hitch right there. Then I'm going to sew the end in, weave the end in, and trim it. And that's all you need. These do not get a lot of tension or pull on them. So for time's sake, I'm just going to trim this right now. And you would then string a needle on your tail and weave that in. Now, that's the whole component. Now for this bracelet, I've made 5 to make them together. And I want to show you how to attach the two components together, or actually each component, with a separate thread right in between them using spacers and super duos. So I still have enough thread on my needle to do this connection. So here's what you want to do. You want to make the connection on the side of the component that has the super duos. The super duos joined together like this. They're facing each other this way. So I'm starting from the inside, the dark side, and I'm coming out through, see these, there's 4 here and 4 here that are going to be joined like this. Now pick up 3 spacers, and I don't know if you can pull in there to show a little closer, because I need to work this on the table.
I always have problems with this. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. Here we go. So my thread is coming out from the inside of the top set of 4, and I'm going to go into the white side of the set of 4 on the other side. So it's absolutely mirrored, and it's going to be held together. Whoops. Nope, that's right. Okay, now there's a super duo that fits right in here. So I'm going to pick up a super duo. Make sure your holes are clear. That one wasn't clear. Pick up a solid color super duo and sew through the next duet. So the super duo is going to fit into this little space.
I see why you have to work that flat on the table, though.
It really helps to work flat, and you absolutely want to use a new piece of thread so that if something happens, it's not going to ruin the integrity of your whole piece. Now you're going to pick up 3 more spacers. You're just making a circle with these. And you're going to come up the other duet on the other side. And this is where you sew through the open hole of the super duo that we just added.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. You sew through that super duo hole and continue your stitch. Oh, I know I checked you. This is why you check the holes. There you go. See, I looked at it and it still wasn't quite clear. So I went through the super duo hole, and now this is going to set right in the middle here, so I have to sew through the first super duo that I exited to meet my thread. Just like this. And it fits right in the center. Now you would just repeat, sew around through that thread path again to secure it, knot it off like I showed you, and weave your threads in and repeat it to connect all your components. So is anybody having any questions so far? I'm going to pick this up to do this because it's a little faster for me.
Susan says, what can be used to replace the spacers? I have everything else.
You could use, I think you could use 15s.
I was going to say 15s.
11s are going to be too much. 15s would work. So I'm just sewing around the circle through the spacers, one hole of the super duo, the other duet, through the spacers, through the duet, the super duo, and the duet. Okay, there you go. So you can see how that's joined together. Secure your thread and trim. Now you're going to do that for all your components. You're going to have 5 components. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here.
Yeah. There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this. You're going to add your connections. Now, remember I said that my original bracelet, I had just a loop of beads. with a closed jump ring, and then using an open jump ring, I attached my clasp. That is absolutely fine to do, and the method is similar to what we just did. You're just going to make a circle through it. But I want to show you what happens when I use the Sikia finding. It's so nice and clean and integrated. Look at that. Then I would use an open jump ring here to attach another clasp. So let me show you how to attach the Sikia. And I'm going to do that. Start another piece of thread, a little one. You know, you always want to use separate threads whenever it's possible to preserve the integrity of your piece. I'm just cutting a little piece of thread. I know there's no visual action. And here's my threading tip. Take your thread, squash the end flat, hold it so it's like a poppy seed almost, really, really small, barely showing between your thumb and forefinger. Find the eye of the needle, bring it down, and there it is.
So you needle the thread instead of thread the needle.
There, that's exactly right. That's a good phrase. Yeah. Okay.
That was my mother's tip to me.
Oh, good.
Years and years and years ago. Yes.
Okay, so if you look at this, you'll see that I've used spacers here again, and I'm going to go around in a circle to keep my thread turning along the darker color again. So that's just what I've figured out, but basically it's just a circuit that you're going to do a couple times. Okay, let's see. So this time I'm going to start, there we go. I'm going to start on the end from the outside. You can put a stopper bead on your little thread if you want. I usually just hold my tail between my pinky and my ring finger. Pick up 3 spacers. Or you might have to figure out, like if you're using Susan 15s, you might need only 2 15s. So, or maybe you need 3 15s. I'm actually going to use 2 spacers. And I'm going to go through, sew through, and set my spacers in between those duets right there. Then I'm going to pick up the Sikia component, face up. This also has a flat side and a faceted side, just like the gem duos that they were designed for. So I pick that up, sew through to the opposite, and it just sits right there. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more spacers and go through the other super duo.
Okay, Susan, you're not being a pest. They're called Sikias. Sykia. It's one of the
gem
Greek
duo ending.
Yes, a gem duo ending, but the name is one of the
place in Greek.
a place in Greece. Yes, but we'll type it into a note for you after we're done.
Right,
yeah.
We will. Okay, so this is just a straight line of a straight thread that's straight through the duet. 2 spacers picked up. The other duet, the Sikia picked up. Through the duet, 2 spacers, just right across. And I've come all the way through, and I'm going to do an about face, and sew in reversing direction through the duet that I just exited. Here's where you're going to maybe use your pliers or there you go. And I'm going to come all the way around through this piece to meet where my tail thread is. Through the duet that's in the pair, through the next duet that's right under it, because that's following the thread path that was already existing.
Yeah, trying to get through the
they're
super
just a little,
duos
yeah.
When it's round, when it's a little.
It is, and I'm using a size 10 needle. You can certainly use a 12 or an 11 if that makes you feel better. But follow your existing thread path through the next gem duo, the next super duo.
And there's nothing wrong with going 1 bead at a time.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's even easier.
It really is. I mean, we all have. Does everybody save their wiggly needles?
I do.
I have bins of needles I'm probably never going to use, except sometimes you know that you're going to have like a curved area to sew through. I just flipped my piece over to get better access to the holes of the duets. I'll turn it right back in a second. So I've come through, I've worked my way all the way back through to come out this duet. Now I'm going to make a little half hitch here around the thread that's already sewn through it. And that's to hold it in place. And now I'm going to repeat that thread path through the beads again until I get back into the real body of the piece, and then I can weave the end in and trim it. So what do you think? That's it. And you can put on a nice clasp for yourself. The Pantone color of the year for 2020, classic blue. We want you to be inspired not only by this design, but by some other designs. Here, we'll just bring this whole thing. Yeah. Okay. We pulled out some other pieces that we have tutorials for that you're going to love.
And we were shocked to find out we had done so many things in blue.
In blue. So maybe they're not technically all classic blue, but blue. My love is blue. This is the Rule of Zigzag pattern by me, Leslie Rogowski. That is in our I Love Beads. These are beads. Right. This is called Ginko Fusion, and it's by Deborah Hodoyer. Now check this out. It uses ginkgos, paisley duos, baroque backlit, cabochons, seed beads, little fire polish. Stunning. All in these beautiful blue, serene colors. Michelle Klaus, if you're watching, wow. This is called Rising Sun, and she's incorporated, this was kind of an answer to a challenge that we had posed to our Inspiration Squad designers to use these coins. So we have symbols in this.
I think they're
meant for silkies?
Silkies.
These are meant for silkies, but yeah. Look how they fit in between the paisley duos, and she's got a silky ending on here too.
Yep.
Really nice, really clever.
So I think they're Cardini sides and Faro endings. Yes.
Excellent. Then we have some fast and easy earrings. We did the Aubrey Earrings on a Facebook Live not too long ago. Here's that blue, that really classic blue though, with other symbol elements and seed beads. And look, the Sikia endings, the same ones that we just used for the bracelet.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. And then this is a blue version of the garland earrings that we did just a week or two ago. The pattern is actually called Yule Garland, but all you have to do is swap out the colors that you want.
And ta-da!
Gem duos, paisley duos, seed beads. So there you have it. You can find all of these patterns on the BeadSmith.com webpage. And all the beads, tools, and supplies from the BeadSmith at your favorite bead reseller. So with that, we say, we love beads! See ya!
See ya!